All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bear Bush Traders pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Hope you guys are having a great morning today, and let's hope this week is a little bit better than last week. So, hope you guys can hear me okay. Just want to do a quick mic check. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully, this morning. All right, let's wait for some confirmations here. All right, thank you, Thomas. Thank you, guys. All right, so it looks like there's an issue just on my end on the site. So let me just refresh this here and we can get started. All right, how about now in the chat room? Can you guys hear me okay? All right, excellent. All right, as I was mentioning earlier, guys, welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone is having a good morning. Good morning, Peter. How are you today?
I'm great, Carlos. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So excellent, guys. Let's get into it. I was mentioning earlier, just I hope this week is better than last week, and hopefully we have some good opportunities. Hopefully the markets are somewhat a little bit more back to normal. But at the end of the day, we're still in the summer months, so things will be a little more choppy and less volume than what we normally get during regular market times, during regular earnings season, and things like that. That can create some great movements for us today. We do have a few gappers here this morning, so we'll go over that as usual, guys. We'll go over our gappers list, then we'll go over our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. Then we'll look at both chat rooms, our members chat here, and also in YouTube to see what stocks you guys are watching, what stocks you like this morning, what looks good, what looks not, and then we'll get into some news, what the markets are doing, and also we'll go into finding support and resistance. If you're joining us for the first time, we tend to go a little fast if you're hearing us for the first time, so make sure you check out class 2. It is on YouTube, and that class goes over support and resistance and how we find all these gappers lists, right? How we find our watch list every morning. Goes into details of what are the criterias and what are we looking for. Good daily chart, bad daily chart, good pre-market action, bad pre-market action, volume, and so forth. So with that said, Peter, do we have any news for the week for today that's somewhat interesting, or is it all business as usual?
Well, it's a slow summer day, it looks like. I don't really have any news that stands out. As far as I know, there's no major announcements coming out. If we look around the world, the global markets are down a little bit this morning, but nothing major. So I expect that we should have a pretty slow day here. We'll see. I think we'll be watching our gappers quite a bit.
Excellent. All right, so let's check out what we have in our gappers, guys. Let's get started. Bring my cursor over here and get my marker. Perfect. All right, so let's look at what we have here. So on top of the list, we have SGMO is up 17.7, 115 million thousand shares traded today. We can see, 100 million shares flow, 200,000 shares traded so far. Looking at this pre-market action, looks pretty flat at the moment. Nothing great right now, but again, it's pretty early on, so we'll give this a little time to develop. So pre-market action not looking too great as activity, but we can see here we have a nice little breakout happening. So you can see the daily chart looks a little choppy. It doesn't move much. You kind of don't have a nice swing to it, but that's normal during this time of the year. You can see a nice little pop here, kind of a bull flag consolidation, another pop here, and then we got this beautiful pop breaking out of this previous support line, which usually can become resistance. Just kind of broke out of that the 2 trading days ago. This would have been probably not Thursday, but Wednesday. And then Friday we had a down day. Now we're gapping up quite a bit. Now, Peter, is any news going on here? This thing is up 17.7, so it's quite a bit. Any news out of this one this morning?
Yeah, they had some positive trial results for their phase 2 hemophilia gene therapy. So whenever you get drug trials or therapy trials, the stock tends to pop up. So we'll see if it can sustain this pre-market gain throughout the trading day.
All right, excellent. So we'll look at some levels here. I can see we have a day over here where we have a nice little gap up. It's sold off. Looks like the entire day here, but we have a level we can reach for there. So we'll remove these levels and we'll come back to it. Next, we have SYMC. SYMC has been active over the last couple of days. Again, gapped up the last 2 trading days. Would have been Wednesday, I believe. So it gapped up nicely here quite a bit and had pretty much a flat day on Friday. And today we're gapping up another 5%. So this is pretty active right now. It doesn't move much. The ATR on this, although it's fairly low, it doesn't really move much. It didn't move great on last week neither. On the day we were watching, it didn't have a lot of good movement. It was pretty flat for the beginning, and then it finally started selling down. So right now it's got some good volume, 310,000 shares traded. Pre-market action is not looking great. The activity on its own. But it will be worth watching, see what we can get out of this today. It's gapping up again another 5%. So we'll see what comes out of that. Next, we have ITCI, the last one on our gappers list. This one is down 14.2, 882,000 shares traded so far. It is a lower price stock. It's trading within this $12, $11 range right now, but it is a higher flow. It's 46.9 million shares float. So that's good. It's tradable. We do have shares for short. For those that don't know, this T here, right? You see this T? This T means that the stock was halted before. You can also see that in your trade idea scanners here. So at 7:30 was halted. I'm sorry, 7:30 resume. So before that it was halted, and that's what that T means, trading resumed. We do have an S here, so it is short. We have stocks to short. So that makes it interesting. Any news on ITCI that we're aware of, Peter?
Yeah, they had a failed drug trial, so that's what's driving their stock down this morning.
All right, that's good for us. So let's see what we can get out of this. Right now, volume is great, 891,000 shares traded. But if we dig into the pre-market activity, again, we just need this volume to be spread out, a little more. So we have a nice big candle here, 214. So let's hope that this volume stays consistent and continues to give us a nice little ramp here. With some good volume. So right now, pre-market activity looks actually very good because this is very early. This is 8 o'clock here, guys. This is 7:45, and you got some movement already early on. So hopefully a lot of people start watching this stock. Volume is pouring in, 894,000 shares traded. So I think this will definitely be in play today. And we could go both ways. And we also have some good levels in here. Look at this. This nice level it has right where the price action is at the moment. Once it breaks down, you see the breakdown comes right back up. You see some hesitation right around this level too, right? Very clean. So I like that. That's a good daily chart. Then you get this nice pop, and now we're back down, right? Almost where this level basically is, right in here. So I'll see where the price action is. And then the low of the pre-market also very close to where the low of this area was. So I do like this daily chart. Looks very clean. Looking forward to see what that has for us today. Let's go over the Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainer, see what we can find out of this. TRNX. This one has been on the scanners for a bit, but again, it's more of a penny stock. It is trading within below $1, so I'm usually very careful with these type of stocks. The daily though does not look too much of a penny stock. It looks very clean. It's got this nice bottoming action here. Seems to be very strong over the last couple of days. But again, this is just not my niche, guys. This is a penny stock, so you got to be very careful how you trade this. What is the float on this, by the way? Because the trading doesn't seem... yeah, so I figure it was higher. So here the float is a 24 million shares float. Not sure how accurate this is, but again, it does not trade like an actual penny stock where you get no movement for several days, weeks, and even months in some cases. Then out of nowhere, something comes out and the stock blows up. But this one's kind of been trading, it's kind of been moving around a bit. Peter, on this one, is there any news causing the last several days to be green for this penny stock, or just regular?
That's a good call. Yeah, I haven't looked that one up, so I don't see any news on it, so I'm not sure what's driving change on this one.
Gotcha. All right. I'm not gonna look at it again, guys. The penny stocks, so we don't focus on that. But if you are into penny stocks, this one looks like it's trading very clean, so it might be worth taking a look at. NAKD, also a penny stock. This one doesn't look great. Has 8.1 million shares traded, up 40%. But if you look at the trading, this is horrible trading here. It's pretty flat basically. And look at this pre-market activity, just not looking great. So we'll bypass this one. SLS here all the time. Again, also another penny stock that does not trade very well. So we'll skip that one. AMD is on here with 1.1 million shares traded. Wow. So they got quite a bit of a volume here on AMD. It's got a nice little breakout. I do like the daily chart. We have some levels already on this one, so we'll go over that in a second. But I do like the way the breakout is happening here. So AMD could be interesting with the volume we're getting. All right. Oh, no problem. So here we have SINT, also penny stock. Not much going on. We'll skip that one. ITCI we have already. This is down 14%. Got some good volume. 913,000 shares traded. So this is good. FCEL also trading under a buck. Not really doing much. Has some volume. 505,000 shares traded. But look at this pre-market activity. Just really not clean. UPL. Also a penny stock. Daily chart looks interesting. Looks like it's doing a nice little drop here and kind of bouncing back now. But again, a penny stock, guys, we don't really focus on those. SYMC we have, and last one on here, SGMO we also have. And SGMO again, just kind of trying to put in a nice little pre-market action here, getting higher. High of the pre-market 1379 now. So this is looking pretty good with some good volume. Next we have, let's go over Nasdaq Active OASM. Again, just not a great pre-market action. It's got some volume here. Oh, this is a horrible daily chart though. So again, I'm just gonna not worry about this. Look at how it did on Friday too. Look at this candle here. It's just not clean trading. Look at this daily chart here. So we'll avoid this one. Let's head down over to UMRX. UMRX at the moment, nothing going on, no volume. SGMO we have. PRVL in this list, not doing anything, no volume. AYTU, same deal, no volume there. ADMA, same. AVGR has the volume, but look at the pre-market action, guys. It's not looking clean. So again, just very horrible pre-market action. Here we have CLWT, worst pre-market action we've seen this morning, no volume. SLGL also in the same boat. And BLCM, no activity neither. Now we do have another one popping up here, CBIO. I see it in our scanners. This one is just popped up 5.8. It's a lower size flow, 11 million shares. Right now, the pre-market action is not looking great. We have looked at this one in the past. I personally have not traded, but it's been in our watch list before as a possible low float. You can see here the last couple of days been having some really good bounce from leaving this level here around 750, just kind of breaking out of that. So it has been in play. This morning, high of the pre-market 1197 and trading around 988.85. So you can see that it does put in some good days though. You see that on the daily here, you do have some areas where it trades very well. This is what you want to see on these type of stocks. So we'll be interesting to see what happens on it. It's got volume starting to get going now, but it doesn't really have a good pre-market activity. A third of the volume almost sitting on this one candle here at the moment. So this is why you're not getting that nice flow that we want to see. So we'll keep an eye on it, but right now it doesn't look great for us to look at. All right, guys, what do you guys have on your end? Peter, what do you have that you like this morning?
Not much. Nothing. I mean, honestly, I really don't think I have anything. I mean, you've already mentioned the only two that look remotely interesting, which are ITCI and SGMO. Correct. I can't remember if you mentioned SMC, Symantec.
Yep, we did.
Okay. All right, because they provided an update on their deal, but no real new news. So like you, that's right, you did mention it. It doesn't move well. You've got to trade it like you trade a Snap or a Bank of America. That just sort of like a penny at a time. There was a trade in it I found last week, but it was it was a 5-cent risk, 20-cent gain type of trade. So not a. So I think I meant earlier, rather than the gappers, we need to watch our scanners and see what pops up. So I got nothing else.
Yeah, Yeah, this was again. I was watching this one. Believe this was Wednesday again, and again, it just wasn't trading clean. And the moves that's how you had to trade. You had to trade with a 5 cents risk, and also and just expect 20 cents out of it. And that was on the bigger side, right? You were lucky to get 20 cents out of this stock on Wednesday. So we'll see what it does today. Again, doesn't trade very well. Reminds me of a Bank of America. Bank of America, unless it's really in play, guys. I mean, it's something big. It's got to be happening with the whole sector, really, or just with that bank for it to move a couple of cents. Snap is the same way. Snap can gap up and then just do nothing for for hours on end. So, yep, this is what we have, guys. What do you guys have on your end? What do you guys like this morning? We'll look at see what Roku's coming up here. Roku for a possible continuation from Friday. Yeah, Roku's having a nice little bounce. Again, we had this this high. It made this new high around, what's this high of all time, 108 or something, 108.15. Then it's just kind of sold off, lost its support here. Once it lost its support, it really dropped. They're trying to find another support around this area here. Couldn't hold it. And it came down, basically almost testing this. This is the 50, I believe. Yeah, 50 moving average. And now we're having a really nice daily chart on Roku. So again, now we're at, if you notice, we are right at the resistance point from a couple of days ago in here. Also try to find support in here. I'm sorry, support in here and here. And now this is becoming resistance. So we'll see what it does here. So this is interesting. Right now, not a lot going on. So I'm going to look for this to hit our scanners. But if it can break out of here with a nice continuation today, you got a good possible chance of this taking off. So we'll put Roku down as a possible, since we do have some space. Not a lot of craziness going on today. What we have here, KPTI. I don't see it on any list here. KPTI. What do we have? Oh yeah, this is the one that was in play on Friday and also Wednesday. So it has a couple of big days. Sold off here, not doing much right now. You could get some kind of continuation today, maybe a sell-off. It is shortable, but right now the volume is very, very low. So not sure what this one's going to bring out of the markets today. AMRN also was in play, I believe, last week. Yes, it had a big day last week also. Looks like it's finding some good resistance here at 24. I remember watching this, but I unfortunately do not have shares for sure. This was a good short at 24, because again, the clear resistance here, and it's just having a hard time getting above that. Right now, not a good pre-market action, no volume at the moment, nothing going on. But this could be a good possible for sure if you have those available, and if the price action determines that we're going to head back down here to these levels past at least to this 22, right? Clear support here at 22. That's a good target. Get a buck out of that move if possible. I see DB. Let's look at DB. DB, I don't like the way it trades. Very choppy. It's a foreign stock. You can see here in the daily chart, has a lot of gaps. Today is down 4%. But again, this is not to me, this is not as interesting as it would be on another stock, because again, this one is just so choppy. So even though it's down, it doesn't trade very well. It reminds me of, this is worse than a Bank of America, actually, guys. This is that type of stock. We have K. What's going on with K? So K's just got one bar here for 388,388 shares, not thousands, 388,100. That's it. So not really doing much at the moment. Again, I don't see much going on here. It has some good activity the last 2 trading days, but today's opening up pretty flat. Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla. What Tesla's been up to? It's opening flat right now, guys. I don't see much going on Tesla. No volume, and really from this point where it's at now, it can, and then Peter, add into this as well. It can really go either way at this point. It can bounce from here. It can come back down and test this level here. I think a lot of it's going to depend on what the market does, guys. I don't see any breakout or any good pattern on this daily on Tesla. And right now, the pre-market activity is non-existent, just because there's just nothing going on with this stock. Let's look at Apple.
You mentioned in the room, Boeing. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Boeing. It might be. There's not a lot happening right now. They did lose a deal, a Saudi Arabia budget carrier. I didn't know there was such a thing, but anyways, they canceled an order for the 737 MAX jets. So that was the first airline to cancel their purchase orders, which I'm surprised there haven't been more to date. But Boeing, I find Boeing really hard to trade because it has a way of just ignoring the news, and it'll gap down pretty much. You think it might be a short, and then it'll pop right back up to previous close. But I shouldn't say pop right up. It'll chop its way up back up to previous close. So it's a hard one to trade, and it moves a couple of dollars at a time. So you got to be really careful with Boeing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes even with the crash, yeah, you had a big drop, but then you had a bounce, So this stock is, I think a lot of the bad news already has been reacted to. So some cancellations of orders. Again, we don't know. We don't know what could happen here. Right now, it's not doing much. It's only down 1.4. Not much volume, but anything can really happen. What I don't like about this one, look at the daily, how nasty it is, right? It's not clean as other stocks as well, and that's how it tends to trade unless it's really active. Yeah, I agree. I agree, though. That's really bad news. But again, these guys knew about this problem, right? It's known that they knew about this problem, and they had a drop. They had a drop here. I think that covered most of it. And people actually died here, right? So we already knew that it was their fault. That they knew about it. They didn't do anything about it. They still kept those planes going. How much more can it drop? And also, one thing about BA, guys, there's not that much competition out there when it comes to building planes. So at the end of the day, they're going to fix this problem or take the planes off, and they're going to bounce right back. And I'm sure some long-term investors here looking at this, oh, it's a great price. Let me jump in now, right? So that's the issue with BA. Even with really horrible news, it can go long, So just trades very, very ugly. Be careful with it, guys. Now, does not mean that we as day traders, we don't care about any of that. We care about, is it going to give us a good possibility to trade it today? So that's what we have to look for, some kind of good opening range breakdown, breakup, or any kind of a triangle, wedge, or anything like that. So we'll see. But right now, again, just not looking great pre-market action-wise. Doesn't really have the volume at the moment. CTST. Let's see what's that. CTST. All right, so CTST, 700,000 shares traded so far. What is the float on this? It is a lower price. CTST. CTST. Here we go. All right, so it is a mid-float cap. It's not a small one, so it's down 19%. That's nice. I do not have shares for sure. Daily chart looks all right, though. It doesn't look too great. A lot of red days on here, so pretty choppy. I'm not sure what's causing this drop today. Any news on CTST that we're aware of, Peter?
Yeah, so this is one of our pot stocks out there. I have never played it as a pot stock, but it seems to be in that industry. And one of their main facilities was found non-compliant with federal rules. So all of their inventory is being held, and that's what's causing the drop.
Gotcha. All right, so that could be interesting. Unfortunately, I don't have any shares for sure on this one. If you do, this could be one that's in play. What I don't like about this one, though, is just the daily. I don't like the way the daily's moving on here. It just looks very choppy, so not sure what to expect out of this one today. We'll throw it on here as a possible CTST, because even though there's got some bad news, this drop of 20% is quite a bit. We can now get into a situation where people can buy this stuff up. So if we can get a long opportunity, could be interesting. To see. It does have the volume. It is a lower price stock, so you got to be careful with the number of shares you take. But again, just the daily doesn't look clean. So if I find something better, I'll probably switch this over. All right, guys. So this is what we have so far. We got some more here. Some solar stocks. ENPH. At the moment, no activity, no volume. Dailies, that's a little bit interesting. It's got a nice little uptrend here. Had a dip here a couple of days ago, and now it's back up. But right now, it's not really doing much in regards to activity. SPWR, same situation here. Has been having some good strong days, following some nice trend here. But again, just not really doing much at the moment. Doesn't mean that it cannot have a good day, a good breakout. It looks like the daily chart looks better than the one we saw previously. But this one could be a possible for today. All right, let's look at JNPR as well. Oh, JNPR is interesting. I see we looked at this one in the past because we do have some levels here. I like the dailies for some reason. I think it's because the way this is setting up here on this range, right? It's been stuck within this range here, and just kind of we're now back at this level of support. We're gapping down 3.6. So it's important to also know how we got here, right? So here it's just regular trading, right? Just regular trading to that support. And now we're gapping down to that support, right? So something happened here that caused the gap down of 3.6. The only thing, doesn't have a lot of volume, right? But what I like about this, if we can lose this support here because of the gap down, obviously we tested this several times though, here, and here. if it loses now, you have a possibility of getting down to 26, 25.75 or so, depending on how big this news is. But right now, I just don't see great activity, great volume. So we'll have to look for this one in our. Oh, it's a downgrade, Doug. Thank you. So a downgrade from Citigroup, I'm assuming, or Citibank. We'll have to wait for to see what the activity brings when the market opens.
I've watched Juniper before. I never traded it because it doesn't move well. The few times that I've watched it, it's like I see the ATR is 50 cents, but it seems to me it trades generally a lot lower than that. So I would put it on a secondary list at best.
I fully agree with you. I mean, again, this and the daily just here looks nice the way it's setting up, and we're right at this support. So with some negative news, this could be interesting. And we basically broke down through all these areas of moving averages up here. So there's really no resistance down here besides, again, if we lose this 26 something, besides some daily levels we can find here. So we'll put it here as a possible, then we'll decide if we're gonna get some levels for it. All right, guys, so that is what we have. Again, as usual, it is a summer day, very slow day on Monday to start the week. Not a lot looking great besides SGMO. CYMC, not so much. ITCI looks okay. It's got some volume, but pre-market action, again, we'll see what we can get out of this. So not much going on. AMD's dropping a bit here, so this should be interesting. We'll see what we can get out of that. All right, Peter, let's take it away over to announcements. What we got going on this week and looking forward to.
Yeah, well, so this past weekend, we had the Vancouver meetup, and that was fantastic. Thank you for anybody here who would have joined that. They had a great turnout and looked like they had a great time based on the pictures. So that was good. Next up, in terms of large events, I'll remind you of our visit from Dr. Steenbarger. He's going to be, Dr. Brett Steenbarger will be visiting on Friday, the 26th of July. That will be great for all of our members, and there's a forum thread that Adil has posted above where you can post your questions in advance. So we'll continue to ask you to do that because the more he can prepare for them, the more thorough of an answer you can get. So that'll be fantastic. Here in the room, we got a number of things coming. It may be summer, but we're still continuing with our education sessions. So the next will be Class 1, which is the introductory onboarding class. Which is happening this evening at 8 o'clock Eastern. So it's market time or 5 o'clock Pacific time. That'll be in the classroom. We also have this Wednesday, our Wednesday workshop series will continue with sizing your trades. I'll be presenting that, and we'll go over the basics about how to determine what share size to take and the different methods you can use to figure out what share size you might want to take. So that should be a good discussion on Wednesday again in the classroom. And then Thursday of this week, we do have a webinar for our lifetime members. So all our lifetime members are welcome to join. It's an active Q&A. We do ask you to post questions in advance again, so we can just prepare for it. However, we will take questions during the course of the session as we have time for. And I don't know offhand who's hosting that yet. Carlos, I'm not sure if you're aware.
No, I am not aware who's hosting it yet.
All right. But you know what? It'll be awesome because it always is. But actually, it's because it's a good conversation. It's a good way to sort of get some advanced tips and tricks and dig deeper on certain trading elements. So that's our lifetime members webinar happening Thursday, July the 11th at 8 o'clock Eastern. So again, the link is above. That's all I've got.
All right.
Doug, the lifetime, just to confirm, that's the 11th, this Thursday.
Yep, that's for the lifetime, correct. All right, excellent, guys. So let's get into it. Let's see what we can get out of this list. A lot of possibles on here now, a lot of stuff that looks great. And then if depending on what we end up with, we can start looking at some of our favorites, JD, MU, and those other guys, Apple, all those stocks that we watch consistently that we know that they're going to get volume and hopefully can give us a good opportunity to trade. So let's start over with SGMO. So SGMO right now, volume is good. The pre-market activity is pretty flat. It's not looking great. I'm not liking that as much as I like the daily chart. The daily chart has a nice little pop here. Again, it left in a hurry at after 12, the $12 range here, so that's good. So we got some areas of support and resistance. Let's start over with this day on the top over here. This day over around 1390. I'm going to mark that down. I'm also going to mark the high of the pre-market. And the reason for that is because that could be an area of resistance. If we break out of that, 1390 starts looking a lot better. I know they're very close, but again, you want to track this 1379 as well to see what happens there. Towards the bottom, the price is sitting right on the level right now. I'm going to mark it is down of this day here. You have 1338 on this day over here. So I'm going to mark that down. Price action is right on it at the moment. Below that, you have a nice level over here at 1279. The reason why I like this level, you got slowly grinding higher, trying to get going towards the top here. Then here finds a good resistance point and it starts heading back down. Can never get back to it again. So mark that down also. And then towards the bottom, we have another level here where we had a test at 1233. Also, we try to get to it, can't make it any higher, then start heading back down. So you got some pretty good levels there. Then after that, towards the bottom, you have your low of the pre-market, which is very close to the lows and highs of the last 2 trading days. So don't need to add any more towards the bottom. If we can break through all these here, then the previous day close will be a good area, good possibility. But right now, it's just kind of moving pretty flat. It's got some good volume, right? 412. Not moving great at the moment. We do have shares for short on this one. Hopefully you do with your broker as well. So we'll look out for a possible long or short opportunity with this stock that's gapping up 17.6. Next we have SYMC. This one is also looking pretty flat, guys. Don't really like the way the pre-market activity is unfolding on this one. You can see here just kind of pretty flat over the last couple of minutes. Volume is all over the place. We do have 390,000 shares traded, but it's not a clean 390, right? We want to see a good pre-market activity with that 390,000 shares. That's not happening now. And as we spoke about this one gapped up nicely last week on Wednesday, and it didn't trade clean. You know, it was very, very choppy. It barely moves. High of the pre-market for this one, 1264. Low of the pre-market is sitting right between the highs and lows from 2 days ago. So right in here. So I'm not going to mark that down. You got plenty of levels. This will be the important level here, the high of this date, right? We want to stay above that, or if we can break out of that, that would be great. Let's go back to see if we can break out of this range towards the top. Do we have anything? Let's just go back here. I don't think this is all-time high. Yeah, I didn't think so. So I'm just going to go back here over to April, February time frame of last year, and we're just going to find the next best level towards the top. Clearly, this level here is a nice level. You got 2 days testing this 29.30. Obviously, that's a ways to go. I don't think we'll get there. But I'm going to mark down this 27.85. You have a day here testing at 27.85. Then you have a couple of days. You got this day that gets to 27.85. And then we just kind of consolidate around that price level, right? It becomes just a consolidation point. Then we finally break out of it. So that 27.85 could be a good area of resistance if we can break out of this 26.84. All right, so that's what we have for CYMC. Again, pre-market action, guys, not looking great. Looks pretty crappy right now. So hopefully something can give us some good opportunities here. But I'm not hopeful because again, the way it traded on Wednesday after gapping up so nice, it still was very crappy, so it didn't move well. ITCI also pre-market actions looks better than the first two we looked at, right? You have a nice drop here, and then I was expecting for it to do better than this, right? Because it started so well here very early on, but now it's just kind of pretty flat at 1850 with some serious volume. So again, not sure what to expect out of this one, but we'll mark our levels. We do have shares for short. Hopefully you do as well. 1076 low of the pre-market. We're sitting right at a level right now, or right just below it, around 1173. I'm going to mark that down. You got this nice, beautiful daily here. Just you can see the clear levels these two are, right? Look at 1075, very clean right here. Here, look at 1073, just very clean support over an extended period. These are months, right? We're going from February, March, April, May. So these are over an extended period. You can see some serious levels of support and resistance. If we can get above this 1173, you can also see this level right on here, guys. Once I put the line, it'll look a lot cleaner too. 1262. You can also see several days coming down to this 1262, testing that area before they drop down to the next level, 1173, or at least pausing on it, right? You got this day here, for example, comes to it. You have a pause and then a continuation of the drop. So clear 1262 looks very interesting. Towards the bottom, if we can lose this 1075, we do have a drop here to 1042, which probably seems to be the best one in the most recent times. And also you can see several days testing it here. So that could be an area where we can get down to 1035 if we lose 1075. So that's plenty there, but right now pre-market action is kind of pretty flat. We're kind of having a very little battle here of who's going to take control of the price action. Again, it started off very well, and now it's just kind of pretty flat. It's down 14% here, and with some volume climbing, about to get over 1 million shares here. So it looks like the sellers might be taking a little bit of control here in the pre-market action. We'll come back to that. AMD's again, it's got a good daily possible breakout. We have some resistance here at 32 in the past, right in this area here a couple of days ago. The pre-market high did break out of that, but then it's selling back down. So activity right now is pretty good in regards to volume, but then the pre-market action, the actual activity of the pre-market action is not looking great. But again, typical AMD stock, when it's not in play, it can actually come back and be pretty active in the morning. We just got to see if it's going to give us an opportunity to trade it one way or the other. Levels, we have plenty of levels for AMD already. Don't really need to add anymore. We got 32.58 towards the top, 33.52, and then we also have 34.25. We looked at this one a lot, so we have several levels on here. Towards the bottom, you got the previous day close, the high from the last trading day, and 31.34 as well. So plenty of levels, really not in play this morning, guys. Just watching this one because, again, we know we're going to get the volume, but not really a stock that's in play. Roku has a good daily, right? I like the daily. I like what it did on the last trading day here on Friday. Nice little pop. We can get some kind of continuation out of it today, so it's a good possible. Let's get some levels on here. Nope, not now. All right, let's towards the top. We got this beautiful level here. I'll tell you why I like this level right over here. Oh, it's persistent. Okay, 102.09 right in here. So you can see here it popped up to this level. Had a hard time breaking out of it. Finally did, and it starts using that level as support on several days. Then once it loses this, right, comes back and tests this support again. Once it loses, it goes down to the next level. So 102.09 could be a possible. And obviously, you got this level all the way up here, this 106. And as we know, Roku can hit that if it gets the volume. I don't think that's going to happen today with the type of market we're seeing lately with not much volatility and volume. But we got our level set ready to go. Towards the bottom, I'm going to mark down these moving averages here, not around 96. So I like this moving averages here in case we can head down here and test that. If people start taking profit and everybody starts getting concerned, we can drop down to this levels here as a possible target. But again, guys, just not really much going on. So I'll have this ready as a possible in case it hits our scanners, but not really much happening. KPTI, again, no volume, guys. Not a clean pre-market action. Looks all over the place. And almost half of the volume is here, even more than half, right? So again, just really not in play. I'm just going to remove this one from my list. AMRN, oh, this is even worse. We'll get rid of this one also. Let's see what Apple's doing. Forgot to look at Apple earlier today, so let's see what we got going on. So Apple's down quite a bit, 1.5. Again, I think just not really in play, but we'll see. We can mark some levels here. Low of the pre-market 256, and below that, like this moving average. So I'm going to mark down this 197.90. Towards the top, you got plenty. Apple is going to get the volume. We just got to see if it's going to head one way or the other. BA, I personally do not like, guys. So I'm just going to remove this one. CTST. This one is interesting. So it's got some negative news on here. It's got some good volume today. It's down 20%. Right. We have a low of 390. I personally do not have shares for sure, but if we can get a bounce out of this, could be good. Let's go back and see if we have some more levels below this 390, or are we all-time low? Because that could be interesting if we are at all-time low as well. No, we're not. So going back to 2017, these levels are not great. There's not a lot of activity happening when this thing first opened up, or whatever the case was. So you know what? I'm not gonna really mark these. These levels are not clean at all. Over here, though, we have a good level in here. So I'm going to mark this one here. We have a very nice drop here, 439. Could be a possible area. So we'll see, guys. No clean level below 390. So right here, we're trying to get some kind of support. You see we tested it several times. 1, 2, 3. On this 5-minute chart, it looks like we might be testing it again one more time here. So we'll see what comes out of that. JNPR, still not giving us a good pre-market action. No volume. We do like the daily. We talked about this one, right? It's got a nice little range here. We're back at the support area. Let's get some levels just in case this hits our scanners. We can get something out of it. So 26 is your low of the pre-market at the moment. And then you also have very clean level right in here. You can see several wicks testing this 26.56. Mark that down. And I'm also going to mark down 26.32. Very clean levels here and here as well. So we're going to have those there ready in case it hits our scanner. So these are all our possibles. This is what I'm watching. Only 4 stocks I like today. Let's look at MU, see what MU is doing. I might throw that on there because I know it's going to get the volume. Although this pre-market action, again, not in play, guys. Doesn't look great. But I'll have it there as a possible in case we can get something out of it. Very congested here. A lot of levels in this area. It's been pretty much flat. So you got all the highs and lows in here. You got the previous day close. You really do not need to add any more towards the top. Towards the bottom, you can add probably 1 or 2 levels. We're going to mark down this one at 38.07. And then we can also do this moving average at 36.82. So I don't think we're going to get that type of movement today with the way the SPY and the markets are moving. Again, just pretty flat right now. So again, these type of days, guys, in the summer, if you're starting to trade, it's good because you can get a sense for what the worst market conditions are when they are like this. If you've been trading, then you know how when the markets are good, how easier it is to find stocks in play. And you know that during this time of the year, you want to be more cautious on the stocks you take and be more patient. This is where your patience is tested. If you started trading in April, March, earnings season, and when things were just moving one way or the other, we're not getting that during this time of the year. So extra cautious is required. All right, guys, this is all we have. Unless anybody else has anything else. Peter, do you have anything else you like?
Yeah, I was going through recent IPOs. I'm scrounging, admittedly, but work has no real, nothing going on today. No sign it'll be in play, but it's sort of at a good level on the daily. We don't have a lot of data because it's a recent IPO, but it's at the lows, and it's either going to put in a double bottom or it's going to break through and go lower. So there's a possibility for work, WORK, to potentially show some activity today, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it. So
yep.
I said there's I think again we'll have to watch the scanners. We'll see what jumps up on the turbo break up and down or the Aura V chart because it's pretty slim pickings so far.
Yeah, I agree. I see JD. Someone mentioned the JD in the chat, so let's take a look at it. JD it's a funny stock to trade. It will not be in play some days, and it will just give you this nice moves. Well, we've seen that where it starts off a little choppy, then it goes to some good, really trend trades. So a lot of us have caught these type of moves on JD, so it could be a good one to watch. Right now on the daily, again, not much exciting going on. Not much activity. It's just about to crack over 100,000 in a few more minutes, looks like, and it's down 1.8. But overall, JD, again, it's one of those stocks that it's just you can watch it and it can give you some good moves. It can trade well, or it could just chop around. But I seen a lot of good trades from you guys on JDs in the recap. So again, this could be a good possible to watch today. So let's see. We have Roku also could be a good one as well. And that's basically it, guys. That's all we have. That is what we have for today. So, all right, folks, this is our list. Peter, I think that we're going to call it a day.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll just wait and see what happens at the open. So trade safe, guys. Don't feel forced to take a trade. Sometimes on these summer days, you can get great trades, but you have to be a little more patient. So that may mean waiting 15 minutes or even 30 minutes into the trading day. So don't be afraid to wait for your setups and trade safe out there.
Excellent, guys. Take care, guys. Have a great day today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time.